How did we get here? I think that's the question a lot of people have. How did this happen? How do we have such this massive tsunami of people joining Pokemon? Making it so we go from products that are readily available on the shelves, products that nobody wants, because let's not forget that most of Scarlet Violet, nobody really cared. A lot of the different sets, I mean, you could find them for under $100 before all of this happened. I believe at one point Scarlet Violet base set was $75. At one point, the Obsidian Flames ETB was selling for like $20 at GameStop and a couple other places. Drastically reduced the price of it because nobody wanted it. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. These were weak sets. And then suddenly, everything is sold out. Suddenly, Scarlet Violet base is $200 for a box. Suddenly, Stellar Crown is $220. All of these different boxes and ETBs and all these old products that were readily available everywhere. Good luck finding anything now. You just can't. I've not seen Pokemon on shelves or just readily available for a very long time. For like a crazy amount of time. And where did it all start? Well, it all started when Pokemon originally started because a lot of people, including myself, grew up with Pokemon. We all had Game Boys. We played, red, blue, yellow, and then I got gold and silver. And I followed Pokemon for quite a while. And it was a part of my childhood. I watched the cartoons. I had plushies. I had so much stuff around Pokemon. I remember at school, Pokemon cards were banned, so to trade them, we'd have people trading the bathrooms with people posted outside of the bathrooms to stand guard and make sure teachers weren't coming or anything like that. And it was crazy, okay? It was a huge part of my and many millions of other people's childhood and has always kind of been there in the back of our minds. It's always been something we enjoy, whether it's the games or just the characters. It's been a part of our life pretty much our entire lives. Now, I, like many of those other millions of people, stopped collecting cards, just in general. I mean, I've played Magic the Gathering, and I had even stopped buying those cards for a long time because I just had so many different commander decks and so many different options to choose from, and play groups I had, came and went, and it was just easier to play online. But once Pocket TCG came out, they say virality, they say like, oh wow, it went viral. I feel like I finally experienced something like that because I had no interest in Pocket TCG at first. I was like, it's like a game, you open card packs, like I don't know. I don't care. It's just fake cards. Like, whatever, I like holding things in my hands. I like collecting things and all that, but it felt like pointless. It felt so pointless to me. I didn't get it. And then my friend told me about it, and then my buddy's roommate told me about it, and then I just kept hearing about it. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. It's free. I'll give it a shot. And now I play it every day. It's that simple. I tried it. I went, oh, okay. I kind of see this. And then I tried the battle system. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. It's very simple. It kind of reminds me of Hearthstone. It reminds me of, regular Pokemon TCG, but very simplified. And I was having fun. And I even tried the TCG Live app, which was a lot of fun as well. But I didn't want to dive into like metas and decks and all this other stuff. And it was a lot more complicated than the very simple version on the Pocket TCG app. I also have a lot of fun opening packs. It is fun collecting them all. It's fun getting the full arts, the shine. It's just like the real cards, okay? It just feels a lot like it. But it wasn't quite scratching the itch, I mean, I was having fun with the digital version, but it wasn't quite scratching the itch. So, I picked up a booster bundle of Surging Sparks and got nothing. But that almost deterred me from opening any other Pokemon product. And honestly, it probably should have. It would have saved a lot of money. But it just reminded me how much fun it was to open booster packs, especially when I was able to get my hands on 151, because this set, the reason I rave about this set so much, like I have a decent stockpile in my store, yes. And am I trying to sell these? Of course I am. But at the same time, this is like genuinely one of the most nostalgic and fun things to open when it comes to Pokemon, because like I know all these Pokemon. I grew up with these Pokemon. And the fact that they have different arts and different art treatments, and that there's full arts now. I mean, back when I collected Pokemon, there were no full arts. There were no illustration rares. And now to have that experience that I had as a kid opening all those Pokemon cards back in the day, again now with improved art, improved versions of the art, and just new chase cards and a new Charizard. It just had this huge nostalgia bomb that hit me. And I really started getting into it. I started looking into the market. I started looking into the different sets, what illustration rares are in different sets, what the different products are that came out, like the Blooming Waters thing, and it consumed me. And that's because it all started when I was a kid. And the fact that it's been a part of my life forever, but it got reactivated like a sleeper agent by Pocket TCG. And I feel like I'm not alone here. I feel like this is the catalyst, the main catalyst that truly brought people back into Pokemon, just like how it used to be, just like when there was those massive amounts of people that were really into it back in the day when we were kids. That fervor was reignited by this app. And I mean, just look at the numbers. 100 million downloads to like the first 24 hours had 2 million. In 22 days, they made 500 million. These numbers are baffling because it just recaptured this excitement and fun that we had as kids and made it into an easily digestible format. And it's genius. It's genius. And they know that people like me are going to also want the physical version of that as well. Because yes, it's fun to get like some ultra rare thing in the game. It is. But like I thought in the very beginning, which is still true, it's still not the same as getting an exciting card in real life. It just isn't. When I opened the War Turtle in Scarlet Violet 151, I was so happy. I was so happy. When I get one in this game, I'm like, that's cool. I don't have that card yet. That looks cool. I like the art. It's not nearly as exciting as it is in real life. And I think that's another reason why we saw this massive spike in people excited and interested in the Pokemon card game. And then continuing that wave were people like me trying to sell the cards, people like me that were doing rip and ships, and that just kept it going. It kept the momentum going because now, not only are you fueled with nostalgia, not only are you wanting to just rip packs for fun and collect cards, but now it is hard to find. There's a drought. And because it's hard to find, that difficulty increases the amount of FOMO you feel, that fear of missing out. Because everyone else is getting packs out there because they're all gone. And now you want them even more because you can't get them. Back on the shelf, they were just available and you pass by them all the time and maybe didn't think about it. But now you pass by that empty shelf and it's almost like an advertisement, like saying, hey, even if you wanted it, you can't have it. And it's that you can't have it feeling that is continuing to push this momentum, that's continuing to fuel this hype. Now, when is it going to crash? Is anybody's, I don't know, is anybody's guess? We don't know. And it depends on what reprints hit. It depends on how big the reprints are. It depends on really what the Pokemon company does. But with this new set, Black and White, I feel like the FOMO is only going to get worse. And with the amount of illustration rares that are in it, I think it's going to rejuvenate the hype, because I felt like it was kind of waning a little bit, and we have seen a pretty big market correction, which I'll talk about in my next video. But I think Black and White's going to re-spark it. It's going to continue the hype train for at least a little while longer. I think it'll last through 2025. I genuinely do. And then maybe next year we might start seeing people fall off. And I think also it depends on if the app game can continue to be as big and successful. If it does something that pisses off enough people that they quit the game and doesn't attract more people, if they don't keep attracting more people, we're not going to see more people in the Pokemon trading card game. I think that's just what's happening here. So we'll see, but that's why we saw this huge resurgence of Pokemon. That's why it's so popular again. That's why it's so expensive. And honestly, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, have a fancy frickin' day. See everybody.